Hello there, all my beautiful beings. So, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about positive Facebook statuses and whatnot. Surprise, surprise! I'm sure you're all well aware that I post consistently uplifting things on purpose because I find that the only real reason I like Facebook is because I find myself connecting with people that I would have never met or had the pleasure of knowing. Ken Harvey, Matthew, you guys know who you are out there, whom I've never met yet are still very, very happy to know. And I think that is the whole point. I mean, everyone, they write these statuses and they're not really serving about anything. I mean, not for nothing, but how many times have you gone on Facebook and seen FML or oh my god, worst day ever and like all this stuff? And how many of you out there really go, oh, you know what, that is exactly what I wanted to see on my wall today? How did you know? Not that many people, I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know, maybe you're like really like pessimistic and like that's what you want to see kind of thing because you want to know what's going on in your friends' lives, and surprise, surprise, it's all like bullshit all the time. And I don't know, I just find that it could be used in a different way to meet like-minded people, to uplift yourself. And so a lot of the time, everybody's like asking me and stuff, oh, where do you find all these posts and stuff, they're really cool, and I'm just kind of like, well, from you guys, like I find them because I just friend request random people that I don't know, but I know that they have mutual friends and I like those friends, so I feel like I might as well like you too, and then all of a sudden we connect in like this little network globe thing, and it all works out real nice. But I don't know, I think a lot of people just decide to use Facebook as like a, they don't look at it as a tool. And that's the way I look at it. I look at it as a way to make global change among the planet, because it's the only place where we're really all connected all at the same time. And how many people have Facebook? So, I mean, it's not like you have to be positive all the time. Not saying it wouldn't be the most serving thing in the world, but I mean, just an outlook where, like, all this stuff that really bothers you, and like you're thinking, oh wow, oh, this is terrible, and blah 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 blah. Well, ask yourself this. Is it really going to matter in 10 years from now, and 5 years from now, in a year from now? And more or less of the time, the answer is probably no. So why let it affect you now, when it doesn't need to matter, and the only reason it is mattering is because you are perceiving that it should in that instance. Now, don't get me wrong, I know crap happens all the time, and that sucks, but instead of going, oh, well, this is just awful and blah, 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 you could just look at it as, this could be looked at as an opportunity to see where maybe I could be more in alignment with something else than what is currently now happening, and remove yourself from the problem by lovingly releasing and forgiving all that has happened in a uplifting, peaceful, harmonious way. Why? Because it makes sense. Logically, this thought structure makes sense to the human mind. It's not like I'm just saying this to be like a hippie or like a positive person. No, logically, this makes sense. So, I mean, if you want to just kind of like wallow in your own pain, and don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share, but it doesn't really seem like it's the most serving thing in the world. Now, recently, I experienced this kind of. I was at a job that I was just not really in alignment with anymore. And I trusted my feelings and I just left because it was what I felt. I trusted my feelings. And if you trust your feelings, then you know that that experience was like a means to an end, a means to get you from point A to point B so that you could grow internally as an individual and use that as an advantage to the rest of your life instead of just going, oh, well, this is the worst, this always happens to me, da 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 da, it's gonna keep happening, you know, why can't I do this, why can't I find this, you know. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you take the experience as a growing tool and use it as strictly that. And just take that in for what it is. I mean, it's not gonna matter in 10 years from now. You're probably not even gonna remember this instance where, you know, it even mattered to begin with. You're probably not going to remember why you cared. So really, you gotta look at it that way. I know you don't have to, but it is most serving if you do, because everything always works out. And that right there is the biggest thing that if I could tell anybody to remember, it would be that, and that it is everything always works out. And will work out as long as you keep that little thought in mind. So, I mean, this takes practice, obviously, but it works. My friend Abby recently was going to her wedding, and it was in St. Lucia. She had to take a flight with a couple of my friends, and the flight got canceled, and she was all freaking out, but she was IMing me via Facebook the whole time, pretty much just being like, I'm believing I'm already there, you know, it's happening, like, I'm believing that, you know, we're getting on that flight, and da-da-da-da-da, and she did. They did. It all worked out nicely, and that's because innately, we know that everything works out, and everything always does. I mean, even if it, like, doesn't, like, work out the way you thought it would, it still really works out. So, it never really doesn't. I mean, you're always gonna be there. You're always gonna have new ways of looking at life, and change is a constant anyway, so how could, like, change or growth ever be bad? It's not. So, that's really the way to look at it. So bringing back to my point here, is that if you use Facebook as a tool to address a new way of thinking to the world, because I mean, that's pretty much who you're talking to. And I don't know, a lot of you probably don't know that many people that you don't know on Facebook, or maybe some of you do, I don't know. Everybody's different. I personally have a lot of friends on Facebook I have never met, and some I will never meet, and some I intend to meet. And who knows whose paths I will be crossing in the future, but it's nice to know that I have those paths to cross if I want to. You know, because they are so wonderful. All of you are so wonderful on a daily basis. And all I get is the best pictures, and it just makes me feel good every single time I sign in to Facebook. I'm not looking at Facebook as like a way to, like, you know, just like tell people about my life. I look at it as a way to create positive change on a global scale. Which is why I post like a million things, and I know some of you get kind of like annoyed by it. Maybe some of you have, like, you know, blocked me or whatever, and I don't really care. The bottom line is that I know that I'm doing something that matters, that is important, not only to me, but to the world. I mean, look at the shape it's in, not for nothing. I think it can be, you know, globally agreed that we have been in better circumstances. And there's a reason for that. And it's not right or wrong, it's just the facts. It's just the facts that this is what it is right now. And the only way that changes anything is the idea and the perception of mind that will change anything. It's that initial, okay, you know what, I'm gonna make the conscious decision to change my outlook on life, because once I change my outlook on life, I'm gonna affect this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, without even knowing it. And it'll just happen. And then guess what? Those people will go and do the exact same thing. So it'll be like this constant, wonderful flow of loving, energetic, cosmic flowing, and it will be amazing. And so far, that's what I'm seeing is happening right now. I can't believe how, well, I believe it because I'm seeing it, that how many people are just turning their lives around for the better. And just for that same reason, the fact that they know that they're doing something that is not only beneficial to them but to everyone around them, and so on and so forth, like an endless, cycle. And that's how the world changes. So I would like you to join me and invite you to be a part of this amazing experience by using your Facebook as a tool to create global positive change. Now be very, very careful with the things you choose to post, because not everything is going to be as uplifting or beneficial or serving to the mind as you probably interpret it first. Just look at the words. Look at the words that are being used, the feelings that you're getting. It's not supposed to make you feel forced into posting it, you know what I mean? Like all those things that are like, oh, and most people won't post this, and like, oh, share if you agree. No. If I agree, I will share. I do not need you to tell me to share. That just makes me want to not share completely. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but personally, I don't like that. I feel like it's a fear tactic. I'm not into fear. I don't like it. I'm trying my best to shift the fear aspects of my life into understandings about myself so I can progress from that point and move on out of it. For instance, I'm working with the idea of sharks because I want to swim in the Great Barrier Reef, and my entire life I've had a fear of sharks, and I realize it's just not a serving thing to have. I mean, why would I want to keep that? I would keep myself from the experiences of life because of fear? Is a fear of what may happen? Like, maybe? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, like I said, I invite you all to now use your Facebook not only to tell people about your lives, which I'm sure everyone cares about with great intent because they all love you, but to use it as a way to help the people around you see the beauty in life in general and in themselves, because it's all there. The only reason we think it's not is because we've got, media on a daily basis just being like, oh, you're not good enough, and buy this, you're not pretty enough, and blah, 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 blah. And none of that matters. None of that matters. All that matters is that you know that everyone and everything in your life is there with complete reason, and the reason is to experience it and take it for what it is, which is a loving life lesson. And everything can be looked at in those terms. So use your Facebook as a tool and create global change from your bedroom, like I am right now. Okay, well, that's it. Have a beautiful day. I love you all, and I'll see you on Facebook real soon. Okay, bye.